Hi everybody, it's Irene with Brainstorm Acres, and if you've been following us, you know we've been on the road for a bit. There's a couple of videos out there showing us going to a reenactment group event for a week down in Queen Creek. It's been a while since I've taken you around the greenhouse, so it was a little scary having to leave the greenhouse at this time of year all by itself. As you'll be able to see, it did pretty darn well. We came back to live vegetables. A few things are past their prime and will go into the supper pot tonight. But there's lots of other stuff that's coming along nicely. A bunch of our cabbage has gotten a lot bigger. Unfortunately, some of our lettuces are also gotten a lot bigger. It's bolted. All in all, we're super happy with where we are. So let me take you around. We have cabbage. I've decided that a few of these things are going to go away. There's one little bitty cabbage. Let me see if I can use my finger to point him out right there. That for whatever reason has gotten smaller rather than bigger. He's going to go away. I think I've got one other in one of the other containers that's doing the same thing. In general, most things have gotten bigger. Here we have a cabbage and lettuce combo. This lettuce in the middle here, right there, had all been planted just before we left. Some of that is oak leaf, Salanova, and some of it is Valmain, which we got from Digwell Greenfingers as a gifty. Very cool. These cabbage have come along pretty well. They've gotten a lot bigger. These went in, let's see, this one and this one went in right before we left. They've really gotten quite a bit larger. At some point, I know that we're going to get diminishing returns on them. It's okay. This one over here, for instance, was tiny when I put it in. It's now got a decent head. It's tiny. It's a personal size cabbage. However, I'm good with that. It's a lot more than if we hadn't tried to grow them. Bigger batch over here. This has been mostly storage cabbage. We've harvested multiple out of here. The Swiss chard up front looks a little scudgy. There's a couple of heads that I could harvest right now, and it'd be a decent little pile of coleslaw. The one back there, it doesn't show well, but it is also doing pretty well. Over onto the lettuce. Now, if you followed us, you probably recognize these as being the beds that we had a whole stack of Salanova in. And there is some Salanova still here. This one is Green Star, and that is not Salanova. These are Salanovas. There's more black-seeded Simpson here and here and here, and over here too. This is Salanova that's gone to seed. So I'm going to be taking this guy out. These two have both bolted, but I was surprised that these Salanovas down here don't look wonderful, but they're still tasty. Now I can see that this one is going to go to seed. I've seen it do this once before on another plant, but it's still totally usable for now. Now we do have two things going on in here that I'm aware of right now, and I'll see if I can share this with you guys. I don't have one running around on here. We have insect damage. I think you can probably see this near. Looks like we have some leaf miners. We definitely have thrips in here, and I'm going to be deciding what to do about that pretty quickly. I have thrip traps, and that has helped to contain them somewhat. It's also picked off a few of the miscellaneous leaf hoppers and stuff that get in. We have a single warm day, and all of a sudden there'll be bugs running around here. It has helped to control things. It's not a perfect solution. I do have organic insecticides that I can use to help control thrips. If it was a bit more stable, a little bit later in the spring, I would pick up some ladybugs, but I think it's still too cold in here for ladybugs. I moved some things to this little set of shelves here before we left because I was just trying to get things going and keeping them alive while I was gone. This is our spinach tray. It's been harvested once, and it'll probably get harvested again next week. These are our onions and leeks. This is mosh. It is considered to be a gourmet lettuce. Not sure if I'll grow it again. I like the flavor, but to me it's just as good as Salanova, so and Salanova's cut and come again, whereas this is a one-shot deal. We may have some seeds that would be willing to share of that pretty quick here, because I accidentally wound up with more packs than I planned on. It was just one of those screw-ups when you order something. Over here, we have some more seeds that I planted right before we left. On the left-hand side, over here, that row and this row are pak choi, and this row are tiara cabbage. So now that they're going well, I'll take their little lid off. I've been leaving it on at night just to give them a little bit more protection. They're doing great so far. I was very thrilled to come back to them. They hadn't even popped up out of the dirt when I left. I was just trying to stabilize their temperature, basically. I've got a pak choi here that's bolting. I've got a couple more over here that are also bolting, and that's my Asian greens, the chum soy. So a lot of this is going to be harvested today because I've got a big pot of chicken stock that Henry has made from chicken carcasses, and that's going to turn into Chinese soup tonight. Down here we have kohlrabi. I double checked to see how big these are supposed to get. They're saying between 2 and 3 inches, and you know what? That's what we have right now. So I'm going to be harvesting these probably tomorrow. We have not grown kohlrabi, I would say probably 30 years, maybe. So honestly, I don't even remember what they taste like. So we're going to be making something with that, not sure what. We have more kohlrabis. This guy is definitely ready to go. You see, he's giant. I mean, there's my hand. So he's a good solid 2.5 inches in diameter right now. And under him, we have spinach. I harvested the spinach down pretty tight right before we left. So all these leaves are brand new in the last week. So we'll have another spinach salad pretty quick here. These are Henry's radishes. I harvested 2 for him yesterday, and I can see there's a couple more in here that I'll be able to harvest pretty quickly. I haven't decided what I'm going to put in here when these are done. Last year I alternated radishes and carrots, but I'm going to be having some space come up in these kohlrabi beds too, so that's something I haven't worked out the details of yet. Now, this mysterious white blob over here is actually my Asian green. All I could do before we left was to water the bejesus out of them and cover them up, because I know that the thrips adore them. And this is what we have right now. We have, these are probably 3 to 4 inches tall, depending on the plant. Very pleased with how they've turned out. I'm going to close this back up because I don't want to encourage the thrips to come through. Hope everybody enjoyed this. Be sure to stay tuned. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. There's going to be lots going on around here this spring. We've got a bunch of seeds to go in pretty quickly. The only thing alive in our outside garden right now is 4 cabbage plants, a few weeds that have come up magically. The daffodils are up, just about that big. The tulips are up about that big. There's some onions. Not much else right now. Oh, the garlic is doing great. So stay tuned. You'll get to see all the crazy stuff we're doing this spring. Until later, bye.